So in this video, we are going to learn how to add events to Google Calendar when Todoist task is completed. Now suppose guys you use Todoist to match all of your team related tasks or work related tasks. And you want that whenever a new task is marked as completed in Todoist, you want to create an event for that completed task in Google Calendar. In this way, you can have a complete record of all the tasks with their completion date into your own Google Calendar account. Now guys, the manual process of doing this is very much repetitive and time consuming. Manually, you have to first mark the task as completed in Todoist, then you have to get the details of that task and then create an event with the same details in Google Calendar. But what if I tell you, you can completely automate this process? So the trigger of this automation will be marking a task as completed in Todoist. And action will be creating an event in Google Calendar with the same task details which you have marked as complete. Now guys, how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, this is my Todoist account. So as here guys, I enter the details of all the tasks which I'm working on or my team members are working on. And we want that whenever I mark a task in Todoist as completed, automatically an event should be created with the same task details into my Google Calendar account. In this way, in my Google Calendar account, I will have a track of all the tasks that at what date and time and with what details that task was completed in my Todoist account. Now here guys, to do this, we have to connect Todoist with Google Calendar, but there is no direct connection between them. So to make this happen, we are going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration platform. So here you can see that we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard, and to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. Now after coming to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Todoist to Google Calendar. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with our trigger window. Now the idea here is we have to connect our Todoist account with Pabbly Connect in such a way that whenever a new task will be marked as completed in Todoist, we should get the details of that completed task inside Pabbly Connect. And after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to basically send those new task details to Google Calendar and create the event over there. And at the same time, when we are going to mark this task as completed in Todoist, for the same date and time, the event will be created in Google Calendar. So let's see how it is done. Now here in our trigger window, in Choose Apps, search for Todoist. Just select it. And in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select the trigger event as Task Completed. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. And we are going to use this webhook URL to connect our Todoist account with Pabbly Connect and get the completed task details. So how it is done? You just have to follow the help text given below over here. So what we have to do, we have to basically log into our Todoist account and we have to go to this app management console. You can see this hyperlink, just click on it. And because we have already logged into our Todoist account in our browser, here you can see that we have successfully reached to the app management page of our Todoist account. Now here guys, you have to just click on this create a new app button and give this app a name. We have to basically create an app in our Todoist account. For example, I'll name this app as Pabbly. You can give any app name according to your choice. Click on create app. After clicking on create app, you just have to scroll down and here you can see an option of test token. Just click on this create test token button and a test token will be created. After this, here you also have an option below it of webhooks. And here guys, in this field of webhooks, you can see a field of webhook callback URL. Now here in this same field, we have to paste the exact same webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Just copy this webhook URL from here and then just paste it over here. After this, in webhook version, select the latest version. And at last, it is asking us watched events. So here the help text says that in this watched event section, we have to select the event item completed. So here this is the event item completed. Just select it and click on activate webhook and click on save webhook configuration. And this is it guys. We have successfully added this webhook URL in our Todoist account in such a way that whenever a new task will be completed in Todoist, automatically we will get the details of that completed task over here inside Pabbly Connect. And we have to actually do the same. We will go to a Todoist account and we will mark a task as complete. So here I have a task named as Todoist integration and this is the description. The due date is tomorrow. But let's mark this task as completed over here in Todoist. And it is done. We just have marked our task completed in Todoist, and here in Pabbly Connect, you can see that instantly we have received some response. And in this response, you will see the details of the same task which we have marked as completed. So we will scroll down and we will see the name or the email address of the initiator, the user who has marked the task as completed. Then here you can see the event name, that is item completed. Same event name which we have selected over here while setting up the webhook URL. Then we will scroll down, you can see the URL, the link of the task, then we will scroll down further and we will see some other details over here. Like here we have the due date of the task, we have the same description of the task over here which we have created or completed, marked completed in Todoist. You can see the same task name and also completed at. So here in this response, you can see the exact date and time, that at what date and time this task was marked as completed. So here guys, you can see all the details of the task which we have marked completed in Todoist. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is now completed. We have successfully received the details of a task which we have marked completed in Todoist inside Pabbly Connect. Now let's move to step 2. And in step 2, using these same details, we have to create an event in Google Calendar. For that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Google Calendar. Just select it. After selecting Google Calendar, an action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create an Event. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Calendar account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, just click on this Sign In with Google button and then select your Google Calendar account in which you want to create these new events. After selecting it, just scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Calendar account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the calendar. And in the drop-down below, you can see a list of all the calendars which I have created in my Google Calendar account. Out of all of these calendars, the calendar named as Pabbly Connect, in this particular calendar, I want to create these new events of completed tasks from Todoist. So here guys, in Pabbly Connect from the drop-down, select that particular calendar over here. After selecting the calendar, the next thing it asks us is the title. That what will be the title of the new event which we want to create. So here guys, I want the title of the event to be the title of the task. So here we have received the response of the title of the task which was completed. So from this same response of Todoist, we have to map this response of task title over here in this field of title. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and in the drop down below, here you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Todoist of a task being completed. And out of all of these responses, select this response of the name of the task and it will be mapped over here. So whatever name of the task will be which we have marked completed in Todoist, with the same task name, the event will be created in Google Calendar. Now after this guys, after mapping the title, it is asking us for the description. That what is the description of this event. So I want the description of the event to be the description of the task. Also, I want to add some other details for as well. Like I want to add the due date of the task. So here in response, we have received the due date over here. That what was the due date for this task. I want to add that due date as well. So what we are going to do, we are just going to enter over here. Just click on this field. And from the drop down from Todoist responses, select the response of the description of the task. Just use the same process of mapping. Then after that, in the next line, I want to mention the due date. So I'll just enter due date over here. And then we are going to map the response of due date from the drop down. So just click here and select the response of due date. In this way, all the details which you have received from Todoist of a completed task, you can map all of these details over here in the description field. And with all of those details, the new event will be created in Google Calendar. After description, the next thing it asks us is the location. So the field of location is not mandatory, and also we haven't entered location over here in task while creating or completing the task in Todoist. So you can ignore this field of location. Then it is asking us start date time and end date time. That at what date and time this task is going to start and at what date and time this task is going to end. So we want that whenever we mark this task completed in Todoist, at the same date and time, for the same date and time, the event should be created in Google Calendar. So we have received the date and time, that at what date and time we have actually completed this task. So here in response of Todoist, you can say this date and time, that at this date and this time, we have basically marked this task as completed. And this date and time response is in UTC format. So here guys, what we have to do, we have to basically map this same response of date and time over here in start date and time. Just click here and from the drop down, select the response. And we are going to map the exact same date and time in end date and time as well. Just click here and from the drop down, select this response over here once again. Now, because we have basically received this date and time from Todoist of the completed task in UTC time format. But like, for example, in India, we use Asia Kolkata time zone. And then I want that the new event which will be created in Google Calendar should be with the details, or the date time format should be according to the Asia Kolkata time zone. So in the next field of time zone, you have to select the time zone of your Google Calendar account. So my time zone is Asia Kolkata, so I'm selecting it. So basically this date and time is in UTC format, but while creating the event in Google Calendar, we will convert it into Asia Kolkata time zone, and then with that date and time, the event will be created in Google Calendar. After selecting the time zone, it is asking us visibility. So I want the visibility of this event to be public, so I'm selecting it. Then it is asking us guest, that do we want to add any guest over here in this event. So I want that whoever was the initiator of this task in Todoist, like here we have received the email address and name of the initiator. So I want to add this initiator, this team member, as the guest for that particular event. So we will just scroll down, click on this field of guest, and from the drop down below, we are going to select this email address of the initiator. Just select this response and map it. So this field is not actually mandatory, guys. So if you want, you can ignore this field and keep this field blank as well. After this, it is asking us event recurrence rule. So in Google Calendar, you know that you can create recurring events. So what will be the recurrence rule of this particular event? Now here guys, because we just want to create the event once, it is not going to be a recurring event. So here in the help text, you can see that if you want to create one-time event, use the rule as this. So you can just copy this exact same rule from here and paste it over here. But if you want to create a recurring event, by clicking on this tool hyperlink, it will take you to a page. And at this page, you can actually generate the recurrence rule for your particular event according to your requirement. So here guys, because we just want to create this event once, so that is why we have selected this default recurrence rule. And after selecting it and mapping all the details of a new event over here, just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that all the details which we have mapped over here, using these details, a new event is created in Google Calendar. This means all the details which we have received from Todoist of a completed task, with the same details, a new event is created. And the date and time of that event will be the same date and time at which we have marked this task completed in Todoist. So let's check our Google Calendar account. We'll go to Google Calendar. And yes guys, here you can see that a new event is created. The name of the event is Todoist integration, the same name which we have given to the task in Todoist. After this, here you can see the same date and time, the exact same date and time at which we have marked this task completed in Todoist. And then here you can see the same user, the initiator of this task, and we also have the description. In description of this event, you can see the description of the task, and also we have added the due date over here. So while creating the description, with the description of the task, we wanted to mention the due date. So we have mapped the due date as well. And here you can see the same due date over here in the description of this event. After this, you can also see the creator of this event, and this is it. So in this way, guys, you can see that the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect is working perfectly fine. Now guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation once in real time. We will go to a Todoist account, and in my Todoist account, I have another task named as real-time test. Let's open this task. So we have this task named as real-time test. The description of this task is we are testing this automation in real time. The color is blue and the status is to do. This is the description of this particular task over here. And the due date is on Friday, that is 17th of Feb. Now here's guys, we will see that as we mark this task as completed in Todoist, automatically within seconds, a new event will be created in our Google Calendar account. And the date and time of that event will be the same date and time at which we have basically marked this task as completed. So let's do this. Let's mark this task as completed and we will see automatically within seconds, you can see a new event is created in Google Calendar. So when we will open this event, you can see the same name of the task, real-time test as the event name. You can see the exact same date and time at which we have marked this task as completed. That is just now. You can see the same user in Todoist who has marked this task as completed. Then you can see the same description. We are testing this automation in real time. Color blue gray, status is to do. So same detail over here which we have added. And also in description you can see the due date, that was 17th of February 2023, and also the creator. This means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever we are going to mark a task as completed in Todoist, automatically with the same task details, a new event will be created in Google Calendar. So in this way, you can keep a complete track in Google Calendar that at what date and time which task was completed by your team members over here. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find a clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this exact same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation workflow, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.